So after another crazy weekend in the Bundesliga, joining me again to go through the weekly foosball, we've got my pal Chrissy boy. Chris, thanks a lot for joining us, my man. How you doing?
Hi, thanks for inviting me. Hope you had a nice weekend. Yeah,
Oh, thanks.
were some quite clear matches with lots of goals in Germany. So I'm happy to talk about them.
Yeah, it was action packed from start to finish. You know, we were talking about it just before coming on, but yeah, it started off with Leverkusen versus Mainz on the Friday night, and you know, I think that game was full of headlines. A lot of class goals to watch. A lot of great football was played, and it was a really, especially the second half was very entertaining.
Yes, I think most people expected Leverkusen to win because they had great weeks before with smashing Dortmund and Augsburg, I think, and Stuttgart. Yeah, but Mainz is always dangerous. They play a good style of football under the new coach. I think since he joined, they're kind of some of the best teams in the league. They managed to turn the match around with the great goals, as you said, from Boetius, for example. And at the end, the win was kind of deserved.
Yeah, it was great fun to watch. You know, the Martin free kick, the Blatius Worldy. You know, it's great viewing on a Friday night to get you set up for the weekend of football. I was a wee bit disappointed myself that Wirtz never got involved in the action. Um, Patrick Schick picked up his goal, of course, but I thought, for me anyway, I thought Demerby and Frimpong were both pretty impressive for Leverkusen, and I think the boy on left back, the boy that scored the free kick, Martin, was very impressive as well for Mainz. It was a good game to watch, for sure.
Yes, for sure. We have to watch out in the next weeks because Schick was subbed off injured. I don't know how long his injury will take. So if Alario will take his spot, I think it looks like him taking the spot. Yeah, he could be a good striker for the coming weeks.
But yeah, Alario came on and he picked up his goal as well. And the thing with Alario is he's quite similar to Schick, but he's not the same size, so he's not quite as dominant in the air holding the ball up. But if he can create some play and get in and around the box, he's a goal scorer. You know, he'll get himself on the end of stuff, and
Yeah.
he showed that with his goal. But again, with the Bundesliga, one thing that I love about it is every team plays for 90 minutes. You know, there's no give up. You know, and even when it is like I forget the order of the goals, but you know, Mainz were definitely behind. Yeah, 1-0 at half time. They go 2-1 behind again with Alario's goal. So to come back in the 84th and the 88th minute to level and then go on to win the game, it was a great testament of resilience. And Mainz have been very entertaining to watch, as you said. And I think they'll be really happy with that result. It really pushes them up into the top end of the table and really kind of puts a bit of fear out there for anyone that's going to play against Mainz over the next couple of weeks, I would say.
Yeah, I think so too. So they are now one of the teams who maybe most of the people didn't expect to be in the top, like Freiburg, Cologne, Mainz, maybe also Union Berlin, but who are still fighting for international places. Um, so yeah, I'd be happy if some of them will play Europa League or Europa Conference League in the next season.
From there, we then run through the weekend. We had Wolfsburg and Hoffenheim, a 2-1 win for Hoffenheim. We kind of said that game was going to most likely have some goals in it, so that was nice to see. Stuttgart Bochum won each. Bielefeld at home to Union Berlin was a 1-0 win. Freiburg winning over Augsburg 2-1. Cologne beating your boys Frankfurt 1-0, unfortunately. Sorry, Chrissy boy. Before we then rolled into like a Super Sunday. None of these matches were particularly high scoring, but there was definitely some stories there, say, with Frankfurt dropping points and Hoffenheim kind of raining on the Wolfsburg parade, as it were.
Yes, I think Wolfsburg, as I already said last week, they didn't impress me against Fürth and also not against Frankfurt when they took their both wins. They went up 1-0 in front, and I thought, okay, maybe now they could take this league and win the game. But Hoffenheim became better and better over the match, and at the end, I think they also deserved to win this one. But also, Wolfsburg had chances to finish the match with a 2-0, and they didn't take them. Yeah, let's see how they perform in the next weeks. Stuttgart Bochum, it was very unlucky for Stuttgart, who were in front most of the match, with big chances to score the second goal. And then in the last minute, I guess it was Mavropanos, made an unlucky tackle, and they conceded a penalty. I think in the next weeks, Stuttgart will perform better than the last weeks, and I don't think they will get relegated.
I would hope so, but with that draw, Bochum almost certainly have made a big push towards survival. Obviously beating Bayern last week and then a point against Stuttgart. It's a really big tie, you know, so from Bochum, who are 11th on 29 points, down to Stuttgart, really, in 17th on 19 points. It is quite tight. It feels like Bochum maybe have a wee bit of the momentum to pull them out of this. You'd expect Wolfsburg and Gladbach, of course, to do the same. So, there's, for the rest of those teams, it's really an uphill fight, isn't it?
Yes, that's true. I think so too. I think Bochum, they will do their job and finish, I don't know, like 12, 11, something like that. And they also have a very, very good defense. I think that's the key to their success. I don't know, at home, I think, they only lost 2 matches out of 11. I think that's great, and
correct.
only conceded 10 goals. It's
Winning
fun
6 as well.
Yeah. It's fun having them in the Bundesliga. It's fun watching them, especially at home. I think they will stay in the league.
I'm just trying to see. So otherwise on Saturday, there was not much else going on, as you mentioned. Wolfsburg, despite their wins, haven't been impressing on the eye when you actually take the game in. The goal from Wind was a bit of a worldie. It was a nice goal to see, but unfortunately it didn't grab them many points. We're seeing Kramaric and Jakob Brun-Larsen coming back into the fold, which is nice. And at Freiburg, they obviously won 2-1 with Augsburg, and the talk of the town off the back of this was Nico Schlotterbeck getting his goal in Boston. I think he scored like 95 points, maybe 100 or something. Had a great game week for him.
Yes, I think because a friend of mine he started playing SORARE with the Freiburg squad, so full stack.
Nice.
And he's very happy with Schlotterbeck, but not so happy with the other guys. So he's thinking about playing him in the under 23 for now. Yeah, but as you said, I think Schlotterbeck is a really, really big talent in Germany for the center back position. I'm pretty sure he will move on next year, but I'm not
Big
sure
links
where.
to Dortmund, eh?
That's the question, I think, because they bought or they got Süle now. If they also get Schlotterbeck, I think Hummels will stay as well. Maybe they play 3 in the back. I don't know, but for Schlotterbeck, I think it would be the best if he moves to a club where he can play consistently to improve his game. I don't think it's good for him to move to a club where he will be benched every second game. But I also think that he will move. Maybe Leipzig could also be a club who's interesting for him.
Yeah, it could be for sure.
Let's see what happens. But he's a great player, and for SORARE, even better.
And that with that win, Schlotterbeck and the boys are charging up the table, looking to finish in the European spots again this year. I'm pretty sure they finished up there last year, if memory serves me right. Or they finished they were good last year. Freiburg, certainly, I can say that without double checking it. So I can say that. And then that takes us on to the midweek. So with the midweek, we've got a wee bit of European action. We've got Leipzig away to Sociedad. That was 2 each in the first leg, in case you missed it. And we've got Rangers visiting Glasgow. They're coming to Ibrox to see their pals, the Glasgow Rangers, and hopefully they can overturn that 4-2 embarrassing loss that they had in Germany in the first leg. And Mark's laughing. Chrissy Boy's laughing because I said Dortmund were going to spank Rangers in the first game, and unfortunately they never. So who knows what will happen Thursday. It will be, and I'll actually be live streaming when that game is on. So let's hope that Dortmund do the business. Are you going to be watching these games yourself, Chris?
Yes, I think so, because especially Dortmund is now very interesting with them having to score 2 more goals than the Rangers. Dortmund, most of the time you watch Dortmund, it's always you never know what to expect. Always most times lots of goals. So I think it will be fun watching this one.
From the weekend, obviously Dortmund had a huge 6-0 win. Marco Reus running the show. Again, Rolls Royce, as we call him over here. But I was listening to interviews and whatnot after the Rangers defeat and the aftermath of it. And it sounds like the noises coming out of Borussia Dortmund is that they're happy with Marco Reus as long as they get in the Champions League next year, which, I know they won 6-0 at the weekend, but getting eliminated by Rangers, like, with all due respect, right? But with Haaland and the talent they've got, surely that, what I want to ask you, Chris, is does Haaland play? Do they go all out, or do they just kind of think, fuck it, we're out of this competition, forget about it? What do you think Dortmund go into Thursday night thinking?
I think for sure that they want to continue playing in this tournament and want to win it, because it's for them it's a title. I think It's not that realistic for them to win the Champions League. But in this tournament, normally they should be one of the favorites.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure, or I'm 100% sure that they take this serious, and play their best 11 in the next week. But yeah,
I'm glad to hear
also
you say
as
that.
but yeah, also as we said last week, I think Dortmund is. You never really know what to expect from them. We said they can win 5-0 against Gladbach and lose 5-0, and then they lost 4-2 against Rangers and win 6-0 against Gladbach. I don't think Gladbach is that much worse than Rangers.
Yep.
So yeah, it's completely crazy what's happening there. I don't really know what to expect.
As part of the magic of European football, I suppose that these upsets can happen. I'm just annoyed because I want to get my Haaland card on now. But generally speaking, I'm always quite happy to see Rangers do well, especially in Europe, because it helps out like Scottish coefficients, for us getting good places for Champions League and playing as qualifiers or whatever. So my allegiances are quite torn, I must say, because it's a great position that they've got themselves into. 4-0 win, 4-2 up. The kind of sad part about that is the away goals don't mean anything.
Yeah.
So Dortmund can come in, get 2-0 and go to extra time. They don't need to win 3-0, 4-2, 4-1 or anything like that. So it does make a bit of a different dynamic. We also said in the preview for last week that Zagadou was the man to watch out for the calamities. And boy, did he deliver against Rangers. He was all over the place, So hopefully, and again, we were just talking about Schlotterbeck and Sula. But the big problem at Dortmund, I think anyone who's watched them will agree, is centre-back. But also, I just do not understand why Dahoud plays as often as he does under Rose. Like, Dahoud feels... And don't get me wrong, I think he's scored quite recently. He's okay on the ball. But there's no one in there who's a real commander of a midfielder, You've got Dahoud in it. And Bellingham's great, Bellingham's lovely. But you need somebody in there over Dahoud. If you're going to have Brandt one side, Bellingham the other, you need somebody in there. Like Witzel, I don't know what's happened to him. I don't know why they're not playing him. I'm pretty sure it's a fallout over contracts and stuff. I might be wrong, but so it's that kind of soft centre that they've got. You can get at them if you really go for it, I think.
Yeah, I think that Dahoud is the kind of player who can play really awesome if the team is running and if everything is going by themselves. But if they are behind, he's not the player who can turn the match around. I think he needs a player to play behind him. I think like a classic defensive midfielder. And for the moment, Dortmund isn't really playing someone like that. Maybe Dahoud is also having to take this role, and it's not his best one. I think the role of Bellingham would fit better to him. But yeah, obviously Bellingham,
way better.
So yeah, I think he's not playing in his ideal position, and yeah, also he's not the player who turns matches around on his own.
For sure. So, what do you think, Dortmund Rangers? Have you got a prediction, Chrissy boy? Are you going to be brave?
To be honest, I think it will go to overtime.
You think so?
Yes.
That could be exciting then. And the other game we've got midweek is Leipzig away to Sociedad. That game was 2 each in the first leg, I want to say. Yes, it was. And again, away goals don't mean anything. So it's effectively a one game affair.
Yes.
If it's a draw, it goes to extra time. If anyone wins, they win the tie. Sociedad had a derby at the weekend and they get beat 4-0 by Atletico Bilbao. It couldn't have been any different for Leipzig at the weekend against Hertha Berlin. It really couldn't. They absolutely ran away with it. 6-1 in the end it was. It got to 2-1 or 1 each. Jovetic scored a goal and it felt like a wee bit of pressure for Berlin. But the red card and everything else that happened thereafter, they were done.
Yes, for sure. Leipzig played really good afterwards. In the first half, nothing happened really. And yeah, I'm really worried about Hertha because I didn't understand the new coaching decision. I don't know how long he will take his spot, and if they continue playing like this, I think they will get relegated.
Definitely. And I think they're very thin in defence at the moment. We've seen Gechter come in over the last couple of weeks. He played again yesterday. And then Kempf has come in at centre-back. There was no Stark. There was still no Boyata. And they've let Torron Ariga go out to Belgium. So, and again, I was saying to you last time, I've kind of watched Berlin a wee bit from afar over the last couple of years. And that's one thing that I've always thought is they've got a lot of centre-backs, but at the moment they've got none, And when the rest of the team has got the frailties that it has, if you've got like rookie centre-backs and guys that don't play all the time, then you're playing with fire. And Leipzig just went to town on them in a big way. So yeah, I would definitely agree with you there. And do you know what was really interesting about the match is Askjabar get a red card and VAR rescinded it, which was actually quite lovely to see. The referee went and shook his hand and apologised and all that. It was actually quite a nice kind of VAR kind of moment, which was quite cool.
True. Mostly we complain about VAR, but in this case, everyone was happy he was there, I guess.
Yeah, so he got a yellow card in the end, which is obviously much better than a red. But yeah, so that was an interesting talking point from the match. For me, I basically had my main contingent Leipzig cards are defensive ones. So it was 1-0 at half time. I remember that much. When did Jovetic scored? Yeah, Jovetic scored to make it 1-1. And my emotions were so mixed. Like, I was a huge Jovetic fan when Man City signed him because he was like meant to be a wonder kid and like, oh, this guy's going to be amazing. He never really took off, obviously. His goal was okay. It was a bit of a deflection, it must be said, off the hand of Guardiola, I think it was. But that killed my clean sheet, But I was kind of like, oh, Jovetic, and it was kind of a good goal. So I didn't really know how to feel about it. And but yeah, so a very interesting game. And I think Leipzig under Tedesco, the momentum is building and building and building. It's probably one of the most exciting, with the exception of the rotations with Poulsen and Forsberg coming in over Olmo and Silva. I think this is one of the strongest Leipzig teams I've seen them put out. And there was no Angelino in this team, which is saying something, It looked really good, really strong. It's good to see Szoboszlai start. But I think if they line up with that team, but with Forsberg and Poulsen out, and they put Olmo and Andre Silva in, I think the team they've got there is incredible and will probably run over Sociedad based on the fact they've just lost 4-0 in a big derby match,
Yes, I agree. I also think that Leipzig could take the win against Sociedad. I think it will be close, but I also think they will take the win in the 90 minutes, especially with the quality they have in their team.
Yeah, big time. I'm with you there. And then when we roll ahead into the next weekend, so with the results that we had, Dortmund winning convincingly, Bayern also, we've not even mentioned Bayern, they won 4-1 at Firth as well. They just picked up their 3 points like they always do. A wee bit of European action, not too much. But then when it comes into the next weekend, again, we've got a lot of situations similar to the last game week where on the surface level, it looks like the big teams have good oppositions. They've got good teams they should be winning against. Dortmund are away to Augsburg. Leipzig are away to Bochum. Both those games are on the Sunday. Through Saturday, probably the biggest game is going to be Bayern and Frankfurt. That should be interesting to watch. And Wolfsburg, Mönchengladbach, both of those teams are desperate for 3 points. Leverkusen host Bielefeld, who we were just talking about, got a good home record, necessarily away. It's not really their strong point. And Hertha are away to Freiburg. Hoffenheim host Stuttgart on the Friday. So there's a lot of fixtures there for next week, Chris, where it looks like you could probably pick out they'll beat them, they'll beat them, they'll beat them.
Yes, I agree, especially on Sunday, maybe.
Especially on Sunday.
I also think that the big teams will win there normally. On Saturday, I think there are some close matches. I think, for example, Fürth against Cologne. Fürth, they are getting better and better. Also, we're 1-0 ahead against Bayern with not playing bad. Then you have Freiburg against Hertha. Normally, of course, everyone expects Freiburg to win. It's more difficult for them if they are the favorites instead of being not favorite. Leverkusen against Bielefeld. I think Bielefeld has also a very, very good defense. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe the 5th best defense in the league. It could also become difficult for Leverkusen. But as Leverkusen are playing in the recent weeks, I think they want to bounce back from that loss against Mainz and will win this one. Also, Gladbach against Wolfsburg will be a very, very interesting match because I think who can win this one has the chance to
break out the pack.
Yeah, to break out the pack and knock on the door for the European spots again. And who will lose this one? I think definitely has to say that the rest of the season is playing against relegation.
There's kind of similar vibes going on with the Berlin against Mainz match as well. It's a real kind of 6-pointer for both of those teams, as we mentioned them earlier, both playing good football, both of kind of punching above their weight this year. And if there is a winner in this tie, it might effectively pull one of the loser out of the equation.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm also pretty excited about who would win this one. Looking at the recent form, I think without Kruse, Union Berlin is really struggling scoring. That's the biggest problem for now. So for me, Mainz is kind of the favorite, but Union had also some chances against Bielefeld. So if they can manage to score again, really excited about this one.
For sure. And I think as I'm kind of looking at the table, it is really just it's going to be a bit of a fist fight, but over this game week, Freiburg. Who's Freiburg's fixture again? Sorry, Freiburg at home to Hertha, Hoffenheim at home to Stuttgart, and then Leipzig on the Sunday away to Bochum. So those three teams that are kind of chasing up third, fourth, and fifth. Again, it's just going to be whoever blinks first. If anyone does drop any points unexpectedly, can have such massive changes to the table.
Yeah, that's true. But I also think, especially Hoffenheim against Stuttgart, is kind of a derby. So yeah, with also always lots of fire and lots of emotions in it. Yes.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
And with Stuttgart not winning for I don't know how many games now. How many games now? It could be a big bounce back if they could win this one and maybe set some new powers free.
They've got 2 wins in the last 15, 1 win in the last 10.
Okay. Yeah, but it's a derby, so you never know for sure.
All goes out the window.
Yeah, for sure, Hoffenheim is big favorite in this one, but I wouldn't write Stuttgart off.
Yeah, those derby matches, especially Friday night as well. After the Friday night game we just had of Mainz and Leverkusen, this this could be quite similar in that respect, especially if it's a derby. Because Stuttgart need the points to get out of relegation, and Hoffenheim need the points to break into Champions League spots. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be, I'll probably make a point of watching that if I'm able to. In fact, that sounds like it's going to be good fun if it's a derby as well. Fantastic. Well, listen, Chrissy, thanks very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me here. For me, it was also a pleasure again. You.
And good luck for the game weeks, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Oh, thanks, you too. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
It's a terrible.